Hey guys, welcome to another lengthy episode. It's been a while since it's been since my last episode, should I say? Excuse me, I do apologise. I've been quite busy. I'd intended to finish off this entire series within the past couple of weeks because I was in a position where I was going to have a lot of time. Unfortunately, that time all got changed around, and now I am only able to do a couple of bits and pieces, but hopefully over the Christmas holidays break I'll be able to do a lot more. Anyway, let's ignore all that and let's just get into what we're going to do. So today we're going to look at the spawner system that comes with the Quest RPG pack. It's pretty cool. You can do some neat things with it. You can link the spawnings to Quest. You can just have them so that when you're in a proximity of an area, it'll spawn the AI. This was a big thing before because the AI, when you had a lot of them operating in the map, it would give you a lot of overhead in the processes, so it would drain a lot. So the spawning system was to be able to help you spawn and despawn these enemies as you needed. Now with the new updates to the AI, you can have a whole lot on the map at the one time and it won't really matter, but we're still going to use the spawning system because it'll help us with setting up the quests and allowing bosses that won't be in an area until we're there. The main reason I've got that is because this, even though I've got the quests are fairly linear for this game, the area is just a big open world. You can go anywhere, and I don't really want you stumbling upon a boss, killing it, and then getting the quest later and not being able to finish it. So we're just going to set it up like that. So we've got our player down at the start here. As you can see, things look a little bit different from the last time. During the Cyber Monday, so the Cyber sale that they had, I've managed to pick up a whole bunch more packs, including the Sinti Nature pack, which I've been wanting for a fair while. That had come down about 50%, so I managed to grab that. I've changed the textures and I've changed all the trees around, so as you can see there's now better looking pine trees rather than the ones that come with the polygon packs. They all match the same style. I've run around with them and it just looks nicer. I haven't changed the skybox yet, but I think I'll probably put that on there too. Anyway, so now that we're back to it, let's have a look at the spawning system. So the first place I'm actually going to set it up in is over in the Goblin camp here. You can see we've got a nice little layout area. We're going to come here. What I've done is I've gone to the demo scene for the RPG pack and I have popped out some of the spawners that were already in there as demo ones, but the spawners itself, if I bring up the menu here, sorry, the manual, should I say, it's pretty straightforward. So it is literally just creating a game object and adding this quest system spawner script onto it, and then you've just got a bunch of fields that you can fill out, and they're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go over them so everyone can get their head around it. So we've got I've got three here: spawner A, spawner B, and spawner boss. I've taken those ones because A is not tied to a quest. It's just a generic spawner once you're in the region, and it says spawn only if a quest is in progress. Yeah, well that's why, because there's no actual quest tied to it. Spawner B is set up to where it is tied to a quest, which is 1, and then spawner boss is where it actually spawns the boss object. Now it's got here, but the prefabs are none because there are those objects don't exist in my when I drew them in. So excuse me, but these are set up in certain ways so you can pull them in. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get spawner B. We're going to actually bring that into here. And as you can see, it already comes in with a nice setup prefab with all the ranges and everything already set. So I'm going to actually place that in there so that they're going to spawn in this region. Now if we drop this down, actually I'm going to drag this down in our hierarchy into the Goblin camp itself. You can see there's a whole lot of stuff in there, but we can see here instances. So spawner B, so we've got wave count. There's only going to be one wave of enemies in this spawner. Excuse me, I'm coughing because I'm still getting over a sick cough. Wave interval, there's no intervals between them because there's only one wave, that's fine. Wait till the current wave to start, but we don't need that ticked because we've only got one wave. If we had 2 waves and we wanted to make sure that you killed everything from the first wave before the second one comes through, then you would have that ticked. Spawn on enter region, so you can see that there's actually the bounding sphere here, and that's the region that we've got. So we might actually make that a little bit bigger if we open that up a bit, so that way when you run down the path they're all going to spawn in a certain area where we can tell them where to actually spawn as well. So spawn on enter region, spawn only if quest is in progress, and you can see right down the bottom here we've got quest ID, and it's got ID number 1. So we need to change that because our quest is going to be somewhat different. So I'm going to have to find quest ID 1. We need to find our quest list, which should be, if I go to... Oh, there you go, I've got the quest list editor right here. Teach them a lesson, assassinate. So that is ID 01, so that's fine. We've actually got that set up to the quest that we want it to be set up to. I'm just going to come back here to the scene. We're going to find our spawner again. So we can actually leave that. You know, I'm just going to type in 01 so that we know. Yeah, 1. It defaults to that. It doesn't include the 0. That's fine. Destroy spawned on quest failure. So what that means is if you happen to fail the quest for whatever reason and there's still enemies floating about, it will actually just delete those enemies from the map. So what it does is it spawns them into a pool. So this spawner object here where it's got instances, when they spawn into the game, underneath instances or as child of the instances object will be the enemies that we list on the thing. They'll spawn in there. And then what will happen is if we fail the quest, it looks there and it goes, okay, delete all of the enemies that have spawned in this pool. So under instances, it'll delete all those. Then they won't be on the map. Now, it doesn't actually delete the spawner itself because you might want, if the quest can be redone again, then you'll want that to be able to respawn all the enemies again. So it will do it that way. And then draw gizmos is just a feature there, so we can actually see where some of the spawning things is. And you'll see the first gizmo we got is just this little red dot at the 0 point of the transform. I'm just going to lift that up a bit so that we make sure that our guys spawn on the nav mesh, which is what we're going to need. So I might just move it here as well so that they can spawn underneath that nice little area there. And then we get into the actual thing. So you've got this prefabs list here. And we've got size and you've got the elements array. So we've got two different characters that we want to have spawn. So we're going to have the first one. You can see the prefab is empty. So I'm going to go down to my game components folder, which is a folder that I've created myself to save all of the different bits and pieces in. You know what? Maybe I didn't actually make this. Or did I? Yep, player quests. Alright, so yeah, maybe I did make this one. I just don't remember it because it's been that long. Oh goodness. Alright, so I've saved off the two enemies that I created. Actually, I think I created 3, but this was the last one that I was using for the shooting one, and this one here was the Malay version. So we're going to drag Goblin level 1 into here. So now what it's saying is that basically this is the prefab to spawn. The prefix will be enemy B, Goblin level 1, so it'll come up as enemy B, Gob level 1 or whatever underscore whatever it's got there. That's handy for if you're doing stuff like the quest where you have to assassinate a certain amount of enemies. Max instances per wave, so this is how many I want to spawn each wave that we've got. We've got 1 wave, and let's just say I want to have 3 of these guys here. Maximum spawn time, minimum spawn time 0, so I want them all to spawn at the same time, all at once, so they're all going to spawn at once. Spawn radius of 2, so what that means is that there's a 2 unit, or which is in Unity is the standard is 1 meter, so 2 meter sphere around this red square here, or the red cube, is the space where they'll spawn. So they're not all spawning on top of each other at that 0 point, but they'll spawn in a random location around that red cube. Within the radius of 2 meters. You can actually also set up the spawn points, which we've got here. You see that we've got spawn points and list them, so we can actually have them spawn in specific areas if that's what you want. But we're just going to have it randomized for now, and that'll be fine. And then the parent transform, we've got that set to the instances, like I was saying before, because it's pooled objects, it will all spawn underneath this this child object here and become child to that object. So that's that one there. We don't need to do anything. Oh, the dead animation state is dead. That's part of the standard controller for Unity. Sorry, the Invector. That's the dead state in it. It's listed as dead. If you're using another controller, then you'll have to find out what the animation state is for it being dead. But for now, you can just leave that as it is. Normalised time to initiate destruction is 0.975, so yeah, just leave that as that. Wait 10 seconds after atom to delete, I think it is, to destroy. So this is so you can have it so the body remains for a little while and then it will destroy and just remove the object. So we've got it waiting 3 seconds after it dies before it deletes the object out of the game. And then spawn at wave 1, so we want it to spawn on the first wave, which is fine. If you had an enemy that you only want to come out every third wave or whatever, then you would set that to spawn at wave 3. And then the last wave is, again, you can set it so it spawns only for like waves 3 and 4, but not 5 and 6, and that way you can have enemies that come out at higher levels. So that's the way that's sort of set up for. But for now we've got it just set to the basic thing of we only want it to spawn up here so that we can kill them, and then it'll be part of the quest. So element 0 we've done. Now we want to go here. We want to get our shooting character. So this will be enemy D _ Goib Shaman. Obviously did that one funny. Max instances per wave 1. Going to leave that as 1 for now because I only want 1 shooting guy and then 3 of the melee guys. Everything else spawn radius 0, so he'll spawn right on the cube, which is fine. We can let him spawn there and the rest will spawn around him. And again, all the other stats are exactly the same. We're not adding in spawn points, so it's got him spawning at spawner B. Because we've set it to a 0 radius, so we'll have to spawn there, whereas if we go to this one here, spawn points, spawner B, I think that's how we can do it. Might have to do it that way. I'll double check that. I don't know if that's actually required, but we'll put it in there anyway. And then quest ID 1. So what we're going to try and do now is we're going to actually try and trigger that off in a test, because that's already all set up and ready to go. So let's get our player. Here he is. Just going to drag him a bit closer up to where we need to go. A little bit stuck under the map. Cool. Now at this point in time we don't actually have the quest, but I did notice there was a couple of issues I had with the discovery quest for the Goblin Camp. It actually triggered off without having the original quest by talking to the captain of the guard, so I have to go back through and fix that up, and then I'll make sure I include that in a video if it's not already there. But you can see we're now in the area, so we've actually triggered off the spawn of these enemy characters, and boy do they look angry. Ooh, what the heck is that? And you see I've run out of the area then, so it's actually despawned them. But, whoa, they are crazy looking. I don't remember my goblins looking like that at all. I think that's actually a mix of all of the different characters from the City Pack, which actually looks pretty cool, but not the effect I'm after. So yeah, you can see that they're a little bit crazy. Just going to kick him a little bit there. Oh, now he's after me. If I run here, they're all going to be there. No! Help me! Help me! Yeah. You gonna shoot me or what? So yeah, so that's quite interesting. It's actually bringing them up. God, they look cool, and they've got like everything on them. All the armors and stuff. That's enough of that. Alright, so let's figure out why that's doing what it is doing right there. Here we have a Goblin Camp. Spawn B. So I'm going to leave that. We're going to take that out. I'm going to go to our Goblin level 1 model. As you can see, not everything in it should be there, so I don't know why it is popping up with all of the different goblin things on it. Seems a bit strange. If I drag that into here, yep, that's fine. start that again, but this time. Oops. Let's minimise that. And we're going to go to our goblin camp. We can see nothing here has spawned yet. Going to run into the spawner location, just to the edge of it. See, it's going to jump there a little bit. Now we've got our instances. Goblin level 1. Ooh, alright. It's done a whole lot of that. And let's go to our scene. So why does he look like he's got everything on him? So for some reason it's actually engaging all of those. I want to take that off. And that, now you can see it's back to the goblin we want. In fact, hang on, why did they come out differently? Why did they come out fine but he didn't? So they've all come out with goblin mail, but he and the shaman has also come out in a funny position. Interesting. So that's something I'm going to have to bring up with the dev. I'll have a chat with him about it and hopefully we'll be able to fix it. But as you can see, this is how the spawning works. So if we go to our spawner, whoops, it's down the bottom here, that's spawner B. So spawn on enter region. What happens if we turn that off? Let's have a look. I'm going to click turn off. Now when we run in, nothing happens, so that's fine. But if we now go and check our player, where is he? Here. I'm going to take him down to the quest provider. Just on this part of town here that we've got. So then we can talk to our quest provider, interact, gobble in, gobble out, accept. Now you can see we've got the quest. So if I go, escape, let's try and take that off maximize. Let's go to our scene. Let's go see whether that's instantly spawned the creatures we need. Nope. Nope, it hasn't. So spawn only if quest is in progress. Alright, cool. Well, let's go and move our player and see whether now we can set it off. Where's our player going? Of course it's in the don't destroy section. Oops. We go back to the game. He's fallen over. Just got to run all the way there. Might take us a little bit longer, but at least we get there. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so they're not spawning yet. So you have to figure out another way to spawn them, either when you do the discover location. So if I actually go to, not discover target helper, you discover goblin camp. So this way we can then go and find our spawner, which is in goblin camp, spawner B, function, quest spawner. I guess start, or maybe even respawn. I'll just go with start. So that's for when we get into the discover camp, but if we go, I'm going to have to maximise this now. use my control through that. Ooh. It's hard to come back from this from being so long. Okay, yeah, so Finding Goblin Camp is set to not started on my thing. So that was because I was playing around with the quests earlier. Let's go to Quest List Editor, which I can't do anything about at the moment. Perhaps on my player instance I might be able to change it. Quest Manager, Find Methods to Helpy. What does it look like now? Oh, yeah. Not what I wanted to have happen, but okay. Nah, it's still set to not started, so I'd have to try it another time. Alright, anyway. That is how the spawner is set up to work effectively. Sorry that it's not 100%, but I'm going to chase that up, and then I'll bring up a follow-up episode to show you how to get the fixes to get it to do exactly what I want. But as you can see, it does actually work for spawning in enemies at random, or tied to quest. So what I might end up doing is actually I will just fill this out with characters that I want in there automatically. And then I'll have the spawners reserved for spawning bosses and named characters that'll be part of the Assassinate quests. So we'll set that up in the next episode. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully this one didn't throw you too much for six with some of the issues that I've got. Again, I'll try and chase those up and release a new video in the next few days. Thanks for watching.